Hey, hello, I'm Tunesy. If you couldn't tell by the channel name, of course. Today's day freaking 42, guys. Officially 8 more days till the series is over. Oh my goodness gracious. Heck yeah. Um, can't believe the series is already almost over. I know I'm gonna say this in like every video, but like we get closer and closer each day. And then I won't be making another series like this until next year. Which hopefully that one does blow up more than this one. Because I'm not gonna lie, this series hasn't been that good, but it's whatever. Effort trying what's it called um trying is what makes an effort or something like that. I don't know. Trying is like like until you get there. Hopefully I get there someday, but yeah, today's state is Tennessee. I got a little funny joke. Are you are you from Tennessee? Because you're the only 10 I see.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Yeah. Today's song of the day is Untrust Us by Crystal Castles. The genre is electro clash. So we got a little electro music in here. Yay! I'm pretty sure everyone knows who Crystal Castles are. Um Pretty familiar name. I'm pretty sure you guys heard some of their music before. And yeah, let's get freaking started right away. Rephrasing myself, today's freaking Tennessee. Um and yeah, today's crime scene is about Buford Pusser. Um he was a cop, I'm pretty sure, that killed his wife. And yeah, let's get freaking started. I don't think I have anything else to say. Pretty chill, relaxed day. I'm not going to yap that much. Buford Hayes Pusser was born in Adamsville, McNairy County, Tennessee, on December 12th, 1937. He was the son of Helen and Carl Pusser. His father was a police chief of Adamsville, Tennessee. Buford Pusser was a high school football and basketball player, standing 6 feet 6 inches tall. He enlisted in the United States Marine Corps when he graduated from high school, but his service ended in a boot camp when he was given a medical discharge for asthma. In 1957, he moved to Chicago, where he was a local wrestler known as Buford the Bill. He married Pauline Mullins on December 5th, 1959. Pusser returned home in 1962, and in September, he was elected Adamsville police chief and constable. In 1964, Pusser ran against Democratic Sheriff James Dickey as the Republican Party's nominee. After Dickey was killed in an auto accident, Pusser was elected sheriff. He was the youngest sheriff in Tennessee's history. Pusser promptly began trying to eliminate the Dixie Mafia and the State Line mob. Pusser survived several alleged assassination attempts. According to events as told by Pusser, on February 1st, 1966, Louise Hathcock attempted to kill Pusser during an on-site investigation of a robbery complaint at the Shamrock Motel. Hathcock allegedly fired on Pusser with a concealed .38 pistol. Pusser returned fire and killed Hathcock. On January 2nd, 1967, Pusser was shot 3 times by an unidentified gunman. According to Pusser, his phone rang before dawn on the morning of August 12th, 1967, informing him of a disturbance on New Hope Road in McNairy County. Pusser responded, and his wife, Pauline, rode along. Shortly after they passed the New Hope Methodist Church, Pusser said a fast-moving car came along theirs and the occupants opened fire, killing his wife and leaving Pusser for dead. Doctors said he was struck on the left side of his jaw by at least 2 or possibly 3 rounds from a .30 caliber carbine. He spent 18 days in the hospital before returning home, and he required several more surgeries to restore his appearance. Despite vowing to bring his wife's murders to justice, Pusser never did have Kirksey Nix or any of the accused prosecuted. Nix was sentenced to the Louisiana State Penitentiary in Angola for the 1971 Easter Sunday murder of Frank J. Corso. While imprisoned, Nix ordered the 1987 murder for hire of Judge Vincent Sherry and his wife, Margit, in Biloxi, Mississippi. His co-conspirator, Biloxi Mayor Pete Halite, had, in His capacity as Nick's attorney stole hundreds of thousands of dollars that Nix had amassed through a massive Lonely Hearts scam, blaming it on his law partner, Judge Sherry. Nix was later sentenced to isolation for the rest of his life. According to a 1990 AP story in the Talktown, a newspaper in Alexandria, Louisiana, Nix denied being involved in the ambush of the Pussers. Pusser shot and killed an intoxicated Charles Russell Hamilton on December 25th, 1968, after responding for a complaint that Hamilton had threatened his landlord with a gun. Pusser was ineligible for re-election in 1970 due to the term limits then in effect. He was defeated in his bid for sheriff in 1972. Pusser blamed his loss to Sheriff Clifford Coleman in part of the controversy surrounding the making of the semi-biographical movie Walking Tall. Pusser was nonetheless re-elected as Constable of Adamsville by a majority of voters, who wrote in his name on their ballots. He served as Constable for 2 more years. Buford Pusser died on August 21st, 1974, of injuries sustained in a one-car automobile accident. Earlier that year, he had contracted with Bing Crosby Productions in Memphis to portray himself in the sequel to Walking Tall. Returning home alone that evening from the McNairy County Fair, in his specialty modified Corvette, Pusser struck an embankment at high speed and was ejected from the vehicle. The car caught fire and burned. Local speculation regarding the cause of the accident included rumors of sabotage to the steering mechanism and the tie rods. The Tennessee state trooper who responded to the accident, Paul Irvin, later became the sheriff of McNairy County. Irvin claimed that Pusser's death was caused by drunk driving without a seatbelt. Buford's daughter, Dwana Pusser, a passenger in another car, came upon the scene of the accident minutes later. No autopsy of Pusser's body was performed. As sheriff, Pusser was credited with surviving 7 stabbings and 8 shootings. Pusser's memorial service was held at Adamsville Church of Christ. On January 5th, 2024, more than 56 years after Pauline Pusser's death, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation announced that the criminal investigation remained an active case and requested information from this public. Following several tips, the TBI confirmed that an autopsy had never been performed on Pauline Pusser's remains during the course of the original investigation in 1967. In a written statement, the TBI said, with the support of Pauline's family and in consultation with 25th Judicial District Attorney General Mark Davidson, TBI requested the exhumation of Pauline Pusser's remains in an attempt to answer critical questions and provide critical information that may assist in identifying the person or persons responsible for Pauline Pusser's death. Her remains were exhumed on February 8th, 2024, and reinterred on or around April 7th, 2024. The TBI and the District Attorney General for Tennessee's 25th Judicial District announced on August 29th, 2025, that were Buford Pusser alive, there would have been probable cause to charge him with the death of his wife. Investigators announced that Pauline Pusser's wounds were not consistent with Pusser's story, but rather were consistent with having been shot at a close range, that Pauline's nose had been broken shortly before her death, and that the blood on Buford Pusser's car also contracted his narrative. They also found that Pusser's own wound was likely self-inflicted. Oh my goodness. That name is such a freaking tongue twister. I don't know why. What the heck? Buford Pusser. Oh my god. Um anyways, that's the end of today's video. I don't know how it took them what did it say 56 years to figure out who killed his wife? 56. They never thought about doing an examination on his wife's body. That's absolutely crazy. That's why 56 years. I can't even imagine that. Accusing the wrong person and then figuring out that her own husband had killed her. And I bet like that was not even one of their suspects. Cuz he was a police officer or something like that. He was what is it called? Um Beats me to it. But yeah, I think there's a movie on multiple movies actually about him walking tall like I said, but there's also Walking Tall 2, I think there's a Walking Tall 3, and then they remade a one with Dwayne the Rock Johnson, which I think is just a remake of the first one. And yeah, but this story is pretty interesting. I don't know how it took them 56 years to figure out who murdered Pauline, but you know, yeah, tomorrow's day 43. So yeah, thank you guys for watching today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.